Namaste, welcome to season 3, episode 8 FTT Talks. My name is Suhas, and today we have a special guest.
Ishita.
So, Ishita, where are you from and what major are you studying?
I'm from Forsyth County, and I'm a first-year BME major at Georgia Tech.
Awesome. And so, were you born in the United States or were you born in another country?
I was born in India. I lived there till I was 10.
What part of India?
So I was born in Uttaranchal Pradesh, or right now it's called Uttarakhand, and then I grew up in Bangalore.
Oh, so you recently moved.
Well, I think 8 years is a pretty long time, so I moved here when I was 10. Yeah.
And did you experience like a cultural shock or anything when you moved here?
I don't remember very well. I think there was definitely some things that were really different about the culture here, but since I grew up speaking English, there wasn't much of a shift for me. It's pretty normal. Yeah. I think I was just really excited to live here.
Really? So, did you guys move for like a work reason or something?
Yeah, my dad got a job here.
Gotcha.
He worked in New York, so we decided to move to New Jersey.
So, when did you move from New Jersey to Georgia?
So we lived in New Jersey for like a year, and then after that we decided to move to Texas. So I lived there for about 4 years, and yeah, we moved here in 2019.
Oh, so you've been all over.
Pretty much, yeah, actually.
So, except the West Coast, I think that's the one place.
Yeah, a lot of East Coast and Midwest. Yeah.
So, out of all those places that you've lived, what is your favorite place?
See, that's a really difficult question. I think each place has like its own unique things, and I like Texas definitely had a lot of things that are really close by. But yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock seeing such tall trees. So I think Georgia for its nature.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So, what other languages besides English do you guys speak?
I speak Hindi mainly. I grew up speaking a little bit of Kannada, but I don't really remember much. And I mean Spanish, if that really counts. Yeah.
So, in all those different places that you used to live at, did you and your family participate in like cultural groups, cultural organizations?
Yeah, definitely. When I was in, I think, sixth or seventh grade, we joined HSS, or Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh. Over here at Tech, we have a version called Hindu Yuva. But yeah, we've been a huge part of that organization for a good chunk of time that I've lived in America. So yeah, that's one of the cultural organizations. Seva is also another one, but that's more of a volunteer-based organization. So yeah, those are the two.
So, tying back to all of that, did these organizations like have like cultural differences and like different like practices across the different regions that you used to live at? You know, did you notice any differences in anything?
Yeah, so the people are different, but I think they all have a very common thread. Since HSS is like a global organization, they have a lot of commonalities between different chapters that they have. So Texas definitely had its unique aspects. Georgia has its own unique aspects, but I think overall they have the same idea and the underlying concept. So yeah, not much of a difference between the two. Yeah.
So what are some specific ways that you're involved in HSS?
So I used to be very involved in Shaka, which is family Shaka. So basically what that is like over the weekends, these families meet up and we do different types of things. Like we do yoga, we play games, then we do a little bit of I like to call it militaristic style of things. So we learn how to do like self-defense activities, a bunch of other stuff, shlokas and stuff. So I used to be very involved in that. But coming to tech, since I don't have as much time commitment that I can offer to a family version, I try to go to the college based one, which is Hindu Yuva. So sometimes when I have my Tuesdays off, I'll go to the Hindu Yuva Shaka meetings. And they also have their general body meetings. So I'll go to that because they have different events that they do. So it's really fun, yeah.
Gotcha. So what other cultural organizations are you part of at Tech?
I don't know if this classifies as a cultural organization, but I think since they're all Desis, Satrangi counts as one.
So for our audience that doesn't know what that is, what is Satrangi?
It's an all-girls Bolly fusion dance team at Tech. It's competitive, yeah. It is.
So it was Satrangi, GT Hindu Yuva, and then is there anything else?
As of yet, I haven't really joined any other cultural clubs. I've been to a few Arohi meetings.
Okay.
And Arohi is like the Indian classical arts like group that they have at Tech, but I'm not really familiar with them that much.
Mm-hmm.
Been to a couple of ICGT or India Club events, but yeah, I think mainly just these two, Satrangi and Hindu Yuva.
Mm-hmm. So just as a whole, do you think Georgia Tech has a good South Asian cultural representation, and like, do you think that they do a lot for the population at Georgia Tech?
For sure. I think Indians as a whole are just very involved anywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
And at Tech, we have a really big Indian population, so there's a lot of clubs that have stemmed out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, there's definitely a really huge Indian representation at Georgia Tech. And I think, as far as I know, Tech, like at the administrative level, also does a really good job of keeping in touch with the student body and
Yeah.
especially the Indian group. I think it was over the summer when we had Rakhi.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to the police, or not the public safety department at Georgia Tech, and we tied Rakhis around their wrists, and I thought that was a really great way to connect with public safety at Tech. So like that, it's just an example that goes to show how connected Georgia Tech's administration is with the students.
So what do you guys do to expand past campus to really help the community, involve the community?
What do you mean, like Hindu Yuva or?
Like, I'm not. I mean, like, I know, like GT Hindu Yuva and the India Club. They're very campus focused. Like, they organize a lot of events for on campus students. So, do you guys expand past campus and like participate in like community service or like something like that?
So Seva, which is a different organization that I'm part of, we don't necessarily have an on-campus chapter just yet, but there's a lot of students at Tech that are involved with that.
Uh-huh.
So we do a lot of like community service activities in relation to that. I know GT Hindu like recently had a event where they did like women's hygiene products. They packaged those, so that was one of the events that they did. So I definitely think they have a lot of like other like events that they do in relation to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I had a podcast with Charu, who's the president of GT Hindu Yuva in the past, and she mentioned that GT Hindu Yuva is not focused on just being Hindu and like spreading Hinduism ideals. So do you have anything to add based on that, and like see if there's like, and like really explain to the audience like how involved you can really get even if you're not part of Hindu descent or follow Hinduism?
Yeah, so I think I have a little bit of a different experience from what Charu Didi had. Charu Didi, if they've heard the previous podcast, she joined Hindu Yuva or just HSS in general once she got to Tech, but I was mainly involved before I got to college. So for me, my experience was going to like camps that they had. So they had these camps during December, which was really interesting because I think that really helped me like shape my personality. The focus there is obviously we have like the Hindu values that we bring into play, but there's something beyond that. It's more of personality development. And we did all these different debates and activities that I think have honestly shaped me as the person I am today. We did a lot of political debates. We had one about abortion actually, and I think that really, although I'm not as confident in the topic as I hope to be with more research, I think that definitely like helped me construct some of my thoughts about such controversial topics. So I think it's just it's not only about Hinduism, it's more of like holistic growth. So there's definitely people who can get involved that are not of Hindu descent or follow Hinduism, and there's definitely something you can get out of it just beyond getting those dharmic values.
And just another question based on that. So another two of our podcast guests, Rasagna and Gayatri, they mentioned Gita Wise, I believe. I think that's what it's called. Do you have any experience with that or no, or want to expand on that?
I don't have much experience with Gita Vise, but there was definitely something I did that was pretty similar. In Texas especially, we used to have these like weekly meetings where we would discuss certain chapters from the Bhagavad Gita. I know we focus mainly on chapter 12, but yeah, I don't have that much experience with Gita Vise. Yeah.
So besides Seva and like actual organizations, is there something that you're doing on like a more individual level or something in your community that's helping with community service and like spreading these dharmic values? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so well, I mean, these are all pretty like interconnected,
Yeah.
so it's really like pretty HSS driven. But last year, I think it was during December. This is when like COVID was kind of
Yeah.
trailing off. I worked on this poster exhibition called Darshana,
Mm-hmm.
and the objective of the poster exhibition was to not spread dharmic values, but help spread Hindu awareness
Mm-hmm.
about our dharmic values. So we did different posters. I think it was a series of 24 or 26 posters. I can't remember from the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And each of these posters had like a topic that it addressed. Like one was different stages of life based on Hinduism.
Uh-huh.
The other was architecture. Yeah, we had a lot of different, and then we had like a last poster that I personally designed.
Uh-huh.
It was like different facts about Hinduism,
Gotcha.
and we had the opportunity to take that poster exhibition to the U.S. Capitol.
Wow.
Tomorrow we're going to the Georgia State Capitol. So yeah, like I think it was a really great opportunity for me, but at the same time, I think that has such a huge impact on presenting our Hindu community on a larger level.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the projects we did.
Very cool, very cool. So one of your hobbies is artwork and like drawing and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there other ways that you've kind of helped the community or done community service through that?
Yeah, I did this one project where I made like portraits of animals from the animal shelter.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really fun one. I just got to collaborate with the director of the Forsyth County Animal Shelter. I talked to her and she said, yeah, we have a lot of long-term residents, and if you could make like posters of them,
Yeah.
like, that would really help. So I made these like watercolor paintings.
Wow.
And yeah, they found a home, and their the people who adopted them like sent the picture back and said that they were so grateful for the portrait I had drawn of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very small thing. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just like, how are you able to like interconnect everything? You know what I mean? Like use your hobbies to do community service, or use something that you've grown up with to help the community in another way.
Honestly, I think my mom's a huge influence on that. If it was just me, myself, I don't think I would have been able to connect all these things together. But, like, my mom has always found these, like, not just opportunities for me, but, like, ways that I can connect all these things together. And then that's, like, driven me to find ways that I could contribute using either my art, some of my inspirations, a lot of different things. So, yeah, I guess my mom's my influence.
So, how long has it been since you went back to India?
Oh, it's been a really long time. 4 years, actually.
Really? I mean, I'm at 7 right now.
Oh, damn. That's so sad. Like, if I could, I'd really, like, go back to India in a heartbeat, because, I don't know, that place is a really nice connection.
Like move there, or?
I think moving might be out of the question. Personally, I think it would be difficult for me to readjust.
Mm-hmm.
Since, like, I've lived here for so long now. I think I'm settled. I sound so old saying that, but I think I'm settled for now.
Awesome.
But yeah.
So, like, back home in India, what are some of your like favorite memories or like places that you used to go?
I definitely to visit my cousins in New Delhi. That's like highlight of my vacation every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to my cousins, so definitely visiting them. Going back to Bangalore, I have a lot of friends, like obviously childhood friends because I grew up there.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's my memory's kind of dwindling, so I definitely need to refresh and go back. I'm actually going back this summer, so.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's nice. Where are you going?
I'm going to Hyderabad. I'm from Hyderabad.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Do you have any memories?
Do I have any memory? I don't know. It's been a while, man. Not gonna lie. I mean, I kind of want to see my cousins, but a lot of at least my mom's side cousins, they're all in the US, and they live like 5-10 minutes away from me. So, it's very.
That's so nice.
But at least from my dad's side, my cousins, they do still live in India, and then to visit my dad's grandparents as well.
That's nice. Yeah. One of my best friends lives in India, so I definitely want to visit her. She's an aspiring actress, so let's see, I want to catch up with her. Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask like a kind of like a more serious question. So do your parents live in the US right now, or do they live in India?
They live in the US, yes.
Okay, so at least from personal experience and like from hearing a lot of some of my family friends' experiences, a lot of grandparents are a little bit hesitant from moving from India to the United States. Like regarding like They just don't they don't want to get adjusted to this like late, and they don't want to leave everything. So what do you think is like your opinion on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a pretty tough question. Yeah, my grandparents personally went to India,
Mm-hmm.
and I think their feelings are completely valid. My grandma, my late grandma, really wanted to come here, but unfortunately she passed due to COVID
Uh-huh.
a couple years back. So that was really tough. And my grandpa is actually responsible for my cousins on my
Mm-hmm.
mom's side. So it's really difficult for him to come
Mm-hmm.
here to the US. My grandparents on my dad's side are also not really healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
um, due to some complications, like they can't come here as well. But I think that at the end of the day, it's their choice,
Mm-hmm.
of course. I would really loved if they could come here and visit us. But I think it's our responsibility to go back and reconnect with them,
Mm-hmm.
other than them having come here. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very like a personal choice, because you can honestly see both sides of the story, because like sometimes like grandparents might be too old to be able to take care of themselves, so it might be better for them to come to the United States. But also like coming to the United States also means like they're leaving their childhood friends and like their community, you know what I mean? And they're just moving to an unfamiliar region.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something like once you get older,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to leave the place that you like
Yeah.
know. Like when I was younger, my dad had a job where he would move around everywhere. Like
Yeah.
we went to South Korea, we went to
Wow.
France, London, a bunch of different places.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Singapore once too. So like at that stage of our lives, it was okay for us to move around so
Mm-hmm.
much. But like now that we're older, like I was even talking to my dad, he feels that it's best if we just stay settled in one place
Yeah.
because I think it's just something that changes once you get older,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I moved here in ninth grade, I found it super hard to like make my own community, make my own friends again, because like everything was all set up in California. So
Yeah.
knowing you and just seeing like just learning about how many places you've been, how were you able to adjust to everything and like find your friend groups in every city that used to live in?
Yeah, my mom likes to joke that we're global citizens at this point since we've gone to so many places.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think adaptability and flexibility is like a huge skill
yeah.
that I got out of this experience of moving around so much. I think that's definitely made it easier for me to like find my own community every place that I've gone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's tough. I think it's a learning curve once you move to a different place where you have to find a whole new community,
Yeah.
make new relations with people, get closer to them. I think initially it was definitely really difficult. Like I think you can relate to this.
Yeah.
Like when once you come to a new place, people already have their connections.
Yeah.
People are already friends. Like I moved in like sophomore year, so everyone had their own cliques. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
had their own, but I was so fortunate that I met the people that I did. Like I met Rasagna and her whole group. I met Ayesha, Shreya. I met all of these different friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really able to adjust. But I think that if I had not found them, I don't know where I would be right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As corny as that sounds. Yeah.
And do you think GT like not Hindu Yuva, but just having that Hindu community is something like an anchor point among all these different cities?
Yeah, it is for sure. It's really funny because once we were moving from Texas to here,
Mm-hmm.
like one of the uncles came up to us and he was like, "Okay, I have all of these contacts. Like, call them as you land." And I mean, we didn't land. We like drove here. That's a different story. But like, we had all these contacts already
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia because of the Hindu community we had. Like,
Yeah.
HSS is such an amazing network of people that
Mm-hmm.
we can like get adjusted so fast. And like once we got to Georgia, we started going to Shaka here.
Yeah.
We found our community so quickly thanks to HSS. So
Mm-hmm.
like, really thankful for that Hindu community that served as an anchor point for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so is HSS just for Hindu individuals, or can it be just anyone who's interested?
I think it'd be anyone who's interested
Okay.
for sure. Hinduism is like a good point about it. We do a lot of karmic related,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's more of like a awareness aspect. So we have a lot of individuals who are Jain. We have a lot of individuals who are Sikh. A lot of different religions come under this. We have a lot of like Buddhist individuals too,
Mm-hmm.
but beyond just dharmic individuals, we can also have like Abrahamic. I think it creates for a really like environment for people to connect.
Yeah. Yeah, so like coming into Georgia Tech, I think in August, I read about Hindu Yuva doing like going to the airport to get and introduced to like international students because they're not really, this is the first time coming to the United States and everything. So I think I saw you in one of the posts. So how were you able to kind of use your experience to like help get them adjusted to Georgia Tech or just the United States in general?
I think I mainly connected. Well, I just helped them make the poster. Honestly, I wasn't the one who like went to the airport and picked any of them up,
Uh-huh.
but I connected with a few of them in the Swagatam event that
Yeah.
we did. I met a couple of master students because I already had a lot of like master students friends who go to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Like Vivek Malampati. Like shout out to Vivek Bhaiya because he was a huge guy in that whole. But yeah, so like I connected with a few master students there because I already had friends through Indiva. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that because all I did was make the poster really. I'll be credit for that.
But I think that's a very cool initiative. Like that's the first time I've ever seen something like that ever.
Yeah, I think that was a really good one. They picked people like international kids. They did I think they did a few Chinese students as well.
Wow. Wow.
It was to anybody.
That's awesome. So like moving back to Satrangi, do you guys do any like specific like community service events or like how do you guys incorporate South Asian not South like South Asian culture in everything that you guys do?
Well, this is not necessarily about community
Yeah.
service, but like this is I love my gonna say this really quickly. Like I can't help but say that because they're just such an amazing group of individuals. I really connected with them so well. But I think one of I think iconic moments would be a good way to describe it. But during two of our competitions, these are the last competitions. Right before we went on stage, we did the entirety of the Hanuman Chalisa, all
Wow.
40, and like everyone was sitting in a circle. It was really great. So like I don't know, it's just small things like that. And we won those two competitions. We got third and second place in both of those, and those were some of our toughest competitions yet. Yeah, we went on stage after singing the Hanuman Chalisa, and I just felt amazing doing that dance. Yeah, I
Awesome.
don't know. That was not a very cohesively worded thing, but that's an example.
Do you guys incorporate? I don't. I think I've watched one Satrangi performance in my life. But
Yeah.
have
Watch more.
I need to watch more. I do need to watch more.
Yeah.
But do you guys incorporate like traditional Indian dances in your routine as well?
Yeah, so I guess the definition of Bollywood fusion would be incorporating different dance styles. We do Bollywood, of course. We do hip hop, contemporary, but beyond that, we also do kuttu. We do bhangra, and we do either Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, or whatever class that the team specifically specializes in. In our case, it was Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi.
Yeah.
So we did a Bharatanatyam piece. But yeah, that's how we incorporate dance styles from where we're from.
And do you think that because like hearing about these like Bolly fusion and Bollywood teams is like I've only heard about them in college, like they're not really in high school or like middle school. So do you think that there should be like these Bollywood like teams starting up in high school, or do you think they should only be in college?
I think that in college you have more of a time commitment that you can give to this. There's more freedom in college for sure. And as like sad as that sounds, like and there's a lot of practice that you need to put into it. So I think that college is a time where you will have more time to give to these things. But I think that they should definitely have a version of this in high school. I think they do actually.
Really?
I know there's a high school level Bhangra circuit. If you know Shri was in it. Oh wait, so was actually I'm not sure. Shri was in it. And I know there's like Shivs has its own circuit.
Yeah.
Right, so I think there are like dance teams on a high school level.
Gotcha. And how do you think that what's your opinion like as a member on a dance team to like spread this like dance style and like this dance method to like a wider population than just South Asian communities?
So I think what's really cool about DDN is that we have members that are not necessarily Indian. Like we have we have people that are not like from Indian descent. So I think that's like a really cool thing about the circuit. But I think that we should definitely have more involvement from non-Indians in the
Mm-hmm.
circuit. I think spreading this thing to people who are not aware that it exists is a really cool thing to do. I know we do like gigs and stuff, so that's one way we can spread the forms of art,
Mm-hmm.
dance forms, in other communities. But yeah.
Have you done dance in the past, or is this something you just picked up this semester? I mean, last semester.
I Bharatanatyam. I did Bharatanatyam for about 12 years.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah.
What have you not done?
No, there's so much I haven't done. Don't say that. There's a lot of things that I haven't done. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So like regarding like your just like being Hindu and everything, have you been how do you incorporate like anything from Hindu Yuva in like temples, local temples where you live or something like that?
Um. Wait, I don't understand the question.
Like I mean like you said that Hindu Yuva does a lot of like events like organizing like these send-offs or like holy events or something like that. So have you guys ever done like partnerships with like temples or like actual religious centers?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Okay.
I know Hindu Yuva is doing like a langar activity
Mm-hmm.
next week. And if you're not familiar with what langar is, it's like food that's given in a gurudwara.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, that's an example. We partner with the gurudwara, which is like the Sikh temple.
Mm-hmm.
We collaborate with lots of mandirs. I know we collaborate with Hindu Temple of Atlanta on
Yeah.
several occasions to cater food.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are some. Um, that's why I like Hindu Yuva or just HSS in general because I don't think we would have gone to the Gurudwara as often as we do now
Yeah.
unless we had that as a medium that encouraged us to go.
Mm-hmm.
The Gurudwara is a really good place to go. Yes.
So we've been talking a lot about like the positives and like the accomplishments that you guys were able to get done. So what are some of the things behind the scenes or like some of the challenges that you guys have faced when you guys are organizing these events or something like that?
So, of course, I can't take much credit for the events that GT Hinduva does because I'm not on board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a mere member. But, yeah, there's a lot of different challenges that come with these large-scale events. I think if I'm talking about, like, the Darshana poster exhibition that we did,
Yeah.
it was a really long process trying to figure out what information to put on those posters.
Yeah.
To get them proofread. Like, we had a huge team.
Yeah.
There were so many high schoolers involved in the process, like, trying to get every single word correct, trying to figure out, okay, is this word, like, does this have the right connotation in this place?
Yeah.
Just a huge process, involves so many people. There's a lot of hours that you need to put into it, but I think that the end product just makes you so, like, it makes you filled with so much gratitude.
Yeah.
It's really gratifying, yeah. But yeah, I wish I could offer more on this, but not on board yet.
Yeah, no, so when you were talking about your dharmic posters and how you're going to the Georgia State Capitol to present them, I kind of related to that a lot because like part of like TT Talks, we were also invited once to like the Forsyth Board of Education, and so we gave like a little speech there at one of the meetings about like South Asian representation and everything. So I just feel like kind of educating people more about South Asian culture is really what's gonna like drive a change towards like better representation in our community. Do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah, I think, well, again, another reference to Hindu Yuva. Next week they're doing a Hindu Awareness Week.
Yeah.
That's a really great initiative that they've taken. But yeah, I think these things definitely are going to drive a turn towards more representation of Indians in the community because a lot of people don't have the awareness of what it is that we believe in, what it is that we follow, what are our customs or traditions. And unfortunately, because of this lack of awareness, this lack of education, there's so many ignorant things that happen in our community. There's a lot of really horrible things. Like I know a couple years back, there was this thing against bindis. Like they put up posters in our community that told us to remove our bindis, and it's just horrible. Like if you don't know something about something, then like that's not the actions that you should take. Awareness is the first step. Education is so important.
Yeah.
And I think that through initiatives like this, like even what you guys do, like having these podcasts that spread more awareness about topics like these, it's really important to have these mediums to make people more aware about what this community is all about and not just have hate for no reason.
Yeah. And then adding on to that movement you were talking about, a couple times on campus, I think last semester and this campus, and this semester, like a couple like groups of people have showed up with like anti-Hindu posters or like anti-cultural posters. And like I just feel like that's a very ignorant statement to just make, because the whole motto of Georgia Tech and just Atlanta or even the United States as a whole is to welcome as much diversity as possible. It's essentially like a melting pot. And I just feel like if you're gonna exclude groups like that or like show specific hate towards certain groups, it's not going to do anything but just cause unnecessary hate and harm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a little comical, to be honest, because I'm so happy that we have such a strong community at Tech that everyone was making, as horrible as I sound for saying this, but everyone was making a mockery out of those people because what they were doing was so ignorant. Like, why carry a poster that spreads so much hate about different groups? Like, you're better off just being positive about things than being negative. Like, why spread that negativity for no reason? You're not getting anything out of it other than, like, I don't know, heart palpitations, health problems.
So just wrapping up our talk right now, what is something that you want the audience to kind of leave with regarding like getting involved with things, with their interests or like their hobbies, like just hearing about how you're able to implement so many things into ways to help the community? Just any advice on that?
Oh, that's a tough beat. I guess, I think on the note that we talked about, like being able to connect your hobbies with the things that you think are like inspiring or things that you want to get involved with. I would say that I'm a person who has so many hobbies that I find it challenging sometimes to really make them relevant to the things that I'm inspired by or the things that I want to get involved with. So, as corny as it sounds, like, just have dreams. No, okay. On a serious note, I think, like, being able to connect what you love doing with something that you believe in is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, especially right now. So, I don't know. It's going to take time, but that's a good thing. You guys should try that out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wish I could leave on a stronger note, but I can't really think of something on top of my head.
And, like, have these, like, opportunities kind of, like, just, like, came up to you? Or is there something you had to do to, like, in order to get them?
I mean, join an organization that believes in the same things that I do or, like, aligns with my beliefs and has shaped me into this person. So, definitely effort on both sides. Like, effort that I had to put into this organization, and that's how they've given so much back to me.
Are there any closing words or final remarks you want to tell our audience?
Not particularly, but thanks for this opportunity to talk about things that I love.
Of course. Yeah. No, you were an awesome podcast guest. Thank you so much. I learned so much about you in like these 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening.